So we are going to interface the PIR sensor, IR sensor and the ultrasound sensor in this video. So we need to write this code for the PIR sensor as I am showing in the screen. So just write down this code into the Arduino IDE. Once just copy it and paste it into the IDE. So here we are going to declare some basic constants and variables required for the project, such as the PIR pin is the pin where the PIR sensor is connected on the board. PIR status store the value that will read in the future and in the code. And void setup, in the void setup part we are going to use the pin mode function to define pin number 6, that is the PIR pin, as input pin, as we are going to take the input from the pin. Then again we are going to use the serial begin function to communicate with the PC so that the Arduino can communicate with the PC. After that we are going to write in the void loop program the script that we want to run again and again. So here we are going to use the PIR statement to store the digital read data from the PIR pin, and we're going to use the if statement. If the data is high, it will show alert, and if it is low, it will show OK. So this was the coding part. So if you write this code correctly, there would be no errors and the code will be compiled correctly. So make sure to select the appropriate board, that is Arduino Uno, and the appropriate COM port you are going to communicate or program the board through, as this COM port will be used as the serial monitor to read the data from the Arduino. You can save the code if you want to. I don't need to save the code. You can also program the Arduino without saving the code. Just click on cancel when it asks you to save the code. You may also save it if you want. So here I don't want to save, so just hit upload. Once it is uploaded into the device, go to the hardware. So here you make the connections as shown in the kit. It is pretty simple connection. So after this, in my setup I have used an Arduino Uno and I have hooked it up with the PIR sensor. As you can see, this is the Arduino Uno that I have used. So after this, you just need to wait for a while for the PIR sensor to settle up its data, as it is high on start. Just wait for a while. As you can see in the screen, it is showing all OK. Once the PIR sensor is triggered by the motion, say when someone moves his hand like I am doing it right now, it will turn to alert, as you can see on the laptop screen. So after this, just you can also wait. So now with IR sensor, same thing, just get the code. This code you have to write this code exactly. It is the same code as the PIR sensor, just we are going to change some variables such as PIR pin to IR pin, PIR state to IR state, and in case if you are using a module, IR sensor module, you need to change the if statement 1 to 0 or 0 to 1 accordingly. If I guess the board runs fine with 1, so just keep IR state 1 in the if statement and serial print alert on it. In else statement, use the serial print ln for the new line and alert all OK to change the alert to all OK. So this was the coding part. If you write these codes correctly, there would be no errors. If you make any mistake, there might be some errors. Just make sure to select the correct Arduino board. Once you have selected the correct Arduino board and correct COM port for the programming and serial monitor, just hit the upload button. No need to save. If you want, you can save again. So once it is done compiling with 0 errors, it will be uploaded into the Arduino board. Just wait for some time, and there, okay, it is done uploading. So we can go to the setup part now. The setup is as the same. The IoT kit has the same connections for the IR sensor. Here you can see below the PIR sensor there is the IR sensor, LEDs and receiver. So this is my setup. I have used a generic IR sensor module. I have hooked it up with an Arduino Uno. Here as you can see, when I move my hand on the at a certain distance from the IR sensor, the data on the serial monitor or laptop screen changes. So the data changes from all okay to alert or alert to all okay, depending upon the code you have written in the if statement. You can also change the alert and all okay statements. So this was about the IR sensor. So let's get to the next connections to the ultrasound sensor. So let's begin the interfacing of the ultrasonic sensor. Ultrasonic sensor is basically a sensor. It sends out ultrasonic sound waves and receives it. So here we are going to use a pulse in command to read the data coming from the ultrasound sensor. So pulse in command basically gives us the delay between high pulses of a digital signal. So here you are going to attach the appropriate pins, such as trigger pin as the input and the echo pin as the input pin, trigger pin as the output pin, and echo pin as the input pin. You are making distance as a long variable and distance in centimeter as the output variable to display the output to the user. So void setup, we are going to set trigger pin as output, echo pin as input. We're going to start the use the serial begin function to begin communication between the Arduino and the PC. So here you put the main code, this digital write trigger pin high, wait for some second, trigger pin high, digital low, trigger pin, and then make it high after 2 milliseconds. Similarly, use the pulse in command for the echo pin, and then serial print the output in distance in centimeter, and then print the variable distance in centimeter that is calculated after the calculation. Hence we all know distance is equals to speed times the duration. So this is the speed of sound into the duration will give velocity. Speed of sound into duration will give us the distance. In centimeter, you just need to use this arithmetic to use this calculation to get the distance in centimeter. So just wait for once the code is completed, so we can select the appropriate code after this. Let me just write a comment. Okay, so good, and you can just give some delay so that we can read and the data stays for a infinitesimal time. So now just select the Arduino Uno board and the COM port where you have connected Arduino Uno and upload. In case if you are not able to see the Arduino, if it is a clone Arduino, you can go to the device manager, COM ports, and you can see where it is connected. It may show something else also, such as the USB to TTL and also some number such as CH340 or something, CP2102 also. So just use that and this should work fine, and just hit upload. It will check for errors and upload the code into the Arduino. Once done uploading, you can get to the setup. So here in the setup, you have to change the connection to ultrasonic, and the ultrasonic on the kit connect accordingly as shown before. This is my setup. I've used Arduino Uno to hook it up with the ultrasound sensor as shown in the figure. It will give you the distance of any object if you place in front of the ultrasonic sensor. So that is it, and once this is complete, you can just check the setup part. This is the setup. You get the distance in centimeter here.